Hi, boys and girls. I am here today to do something new and different with you. During this time, the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about some different Bible stories, how God made the world, and how God saved Noah and his family by putting them in a boat, and how now we've been talking about Joseph and how he was sold into slavery and thrown in jail. God used all of those bad things to help make him a ruler in Egypt, and how God used those things for his benefit, for his good. Well, we're going to talk about another one of God's helpers, and this happened a long time ago in a country on the other side of the ocean, in a country called Germany. This happened a long time ago, before you were born, before I was born, before your granny and papa were born. It happened in the 1500s, like 500 years ago. And it all started when this man named Hans and his wife, Margaret, became pregnant. She had this little baby growing in her belly. After 9 months, the baby was born. They had a little boy, and his name was Martin. They named him Martin, and his last name was Luther, just like their name. And Martin was a child of God, or he was going to be. His dad, Hans, knew how important it was for Martin to learn about Jesus and how Jesus died on the cross for him. And he wanted Martin to be his own child, God's own child. So the day after Martin Luther was born, he took him to church. And at the front of the church, you will see this funny looking thing. It's got a big bowl in the middle. This is called a baptismal font. A baptismal font is where babies and grown-ups are baptized. So Martin was brought to the church, and the priest, he's the church worker, came and sprinkled some water on Martin Luther's head. And that is how those little seeds of faith started to grow in Martin's heart. His dad and his mom, they loved God, and they wanted Martin to have the same gift of faith that they had in their hearts. Well, Martin went back home with his mom and dad, and he grew a little bit. Let me get the next piece. Here he is. Martin became a boy, and he studied really hard. He did his homework, and he read books, and he did his work, and he turned it into his teacher, and he did his best. And when he graduated from 8th grade, it was time for him to go to school. It was time for him to go to high school. Maybe you have a big brother or a big sister who goes to high school. Well, it's time for Martin to go to high school. And his dad loved Martin so much, he wanted him to go to the best school. And this school was in another city. So Martin had to say goodbye to his mom and dad and had to go move to a new city to go to school. He had to live in what we would call the dorms. The dorms are like little apartments that the students get to stay in, and then they have to eat their meals there, and they have to do their homework there, and they only get to see their moms and dads maybe on breaks or on the weekends. Here is part of the new city that Martin was part of. His mom and dad said goodbye, and Martin had to go to a new school. When he was at this new school, this high school, he met some new friends. And when these friends had some free time, what they liked to do, because there was no video games and there's no movie theaters or no bowling alleys, they liked to sing. So what they would do is they would walk through the town streets and they would sing for people. And the people liked to listen to them sing. And when they liked the song that they were singing or the way they were singing, they would give them a special gift as a thank you. They would give them maybe some food, or maybe they would invite them in to come have supper. Sometimes they would even give them money. And one lady really liked to listen to these boys sing. Her name was Mrs. Kata. Can you say that? Mrs. Kata. Mrs. Kata, she loved listening to these boys sing. And Martin over here, she really liked his voice. He was the best one in the singer of the singers. And one day, when Martin's friends went back to school, Mrs. Kata had a special question for Martin. She said to Martin, Martin, I love your voice and I want to help you while you're going to school. I know you're away from your mom and dad and you miss them and you don't always get to have nice meals while you're living in the dorm at school. Would you like to come live with me and my family? I have an empty bedroom you can stay in and you can have supper with us and we can help you with your homework. And Martin said, that would be wonderful. Yes, thank you so much. So Martin, he got to live with Mrs. Kata for the rest of his days at the high school. I want you to think about something now. How can you show kindness to friends? Mrs. Kata showed kindness to Martin by giving him food and a place to live and giving him the time that he wanted for getting help. How could you be nice to someone? Can you share your toys? Yeah. If somebody falls and gets hurt, can you maybe go get a grown up or a band aid? Yeah. And the way that Mrs. Kata showed love to Martin is something that we can do for other people. God showed love to Mrs. Kata and Martin. Guess what? God shows love to us. We're going to learn more and more about how God used Martin Luther to help his church. And we can be a helper just like Martin Luther and just like the people of our Bible stories that we've been talking about. This is where we're going to stop our story for today. But what I want to do is have you now look in a special book that got sent home with you. It looks like this. All right. At the top is the title, the name of our book, Martin Luther, Life and Legacy. Those are some big words. Life, we're talking about what Martin Luther did during his life before he went home to heaven with Jesus. And legacy kind of means what people remember him for. It doesn't mean that he's God. It doesn't mean that he's Jesus. He can't do any of those things. He doesn't have the almighty power that we've talked about. But he was one of God's helpers. And during this time of October, we like to think about those things because some of the work that he did happened in the month of October. So what I want you to do is just take a minute and look through this book. We're going to go through these pages one or two at a time. We're not going to go through the whole book, but you're going to see some different things that we're going to do. In the middle of your book, you're going to see some pictures, some stickers. Don't touch any of the stickers. Okay, we're going to use those stickers, but if you start going crazy and putting them all over the pages when you're not supposed to, your book is not going to make sense. So you need to wait until I tell you go, and then I'll show you what stickers we're going to use for your book. All right, so let's just finish watching and looking through the magazine or book here. All right, there's some songs that are in here, and there's some things that at the end you can cut out and make into finger puppets. So there's going to be a lot of fun things that we're going to do in our book. Here on the front is the cover. This is Martin Luther when he was a grown-up after he graduated high school. And this is a picture of one of the most important parts or famous things that Martin Luther is remembered for. And we're going to talk about this in a little while. But what I want you to do is I want you to look at just page 2. All right, I'm going to fold my book back so you can see it. We're not going to look at any of the other pages. We're just going to look at this one. It has a 2 at the bottom. I want to read the words for you, and then I'm going to tell you what we're going to do, okay? It says, a happy home for Luther. Martin and his school friends went from house to house singing songs in exchange for food. Mrs. Kata liked their singing. She invited Martin to live at her home. Place stickers of Martin, Mrs. Kata, and the other singers onto the scene. So we get to create our own scene, just like the house pictures that I have on my flannel board. Now here's where we're going to find the stickers. I need you to only use the stickers that I'm showing you though, okay? When you open up to the middle of your book, you're going to see a whole bunch of them. Do you remember what page I said we're on? Page 2. So in each of these dotted squares or rectangles, you're going to see a number in the bold print. We are not looking for 7 or 6. We're right here. Page 2 that matches the page 2 in the book. Here is a picture of Mrs. Kata. Here is a picture of Martin Luther. And here is a picture of his friends. These are some stickers. You're going to have to use your little fingernail to get off the page And then we're going to go back to this page and put those stickers on. All right? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with Mrs. Kata. I want you to find Mrs. Kata. Okay? You're going to pull off the sticker. Then we're going to go back to page 2. And we're going to put Mrs. Kata on the page to show that she was outside of her town and she was waiting or looking and listening to the boys singing their songs. When you have Mrs. Kata done, we're not done yet. We still have 2 more that we have to do. So go back to the middle of your book. Let's find the friends, right? We're going to lift it up, pull the sticker off. Careful not to get it stuck on any of the other pages. Go back to page 2 and put that on that page. Now we have the boys, Mrs. Kata. Who do we need to still put in the middle? Yeah, Martin. So you're going to go back to your sticker sheet. And now we have Martin here all ready to go join the friends and Mrs. Kata on page 2 for singing. You're going to push it down and put it on this page. Don't put it on the other pages because we want to complete the scene that the words are talking about. All right. I hope you had fun with this. Tomorrow we're going to go talk about what happens to Martin when he gets stuck in a thunderstorm. All right. I will see you next time.